Hello and welcome to my 8 Bits. This is my review of Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1. After almost 2 decades of deprecation, Sega has finally promised Sonic fans the game they want and deserve. Does this numerical sequel belong in the same pantheon that the Genesis Sonic games reside, or is this another in a long line of disappointments? Sonic 4 doesn't have much of a story. Dr. Robotnik is up to no good and the blue blur beats him up. It's classic Genesis fare, and it only adds to the nostalgia that the game tries to cultivate. Progression, though, is a bit unorthodox. You can play the game from one act to the next in order, but after beating the first level, the game allows you to select any non-boss level to play in any order you want. So if you wanted, you could go from the first level to the last and do them in any order you want, other than the bosses, which unlock after beating all 3 acts to one zone. Like those other Genesis gems, the meat of the game is the platforming gameplay, and it doesn't get much simpler. If you knew how to play Sonics 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, the Advanced series, the Rush series, or etc., you can play this. The D-pad moves around, and one button jumps. Hold down and pulse the jump button a few times to do a spin dash. The only new thing it brings to the Genesis formula is the homing attack from the 3D games. Just hit the jump button in midair when a reticle appears over an object to home in on it. You need at least one ring to stay alive after a hit, and you jump or roll into enemies to kill them. Veterans will no doubt notice differing physics from the classics, but it's nothing at all jarring. Like any platformer, the game is made or broken on level design, and Sonic 4 nails it. Team Sonic finally made levels with the perfect balance of jumping and high-speed running, and the levels have a glorious flow. Some levels are definitely trickier than others, but they never get frustratingly hard. These levels don't live up to the Angel Islands or Chemical Plants of days past, but they all do a great job of being fun, and a lot of them are at least better than Hydrocity. There are levels that you will want to play again. Bosses, on the other hand, are just rehashes of the old ones, and not too challenging at that, except for the final boss. It's not too hard, but it's a lot harder than the others, and a whole lot longer. Also, like the classics, get to the end of an act with 50 rings, and you go to a special stage in order to collect a Chaos Emerald. There are 7 of these to collect, and if you want the true ending, you're gonna have to collect them all. These play out like the ones in Sonic 1, but in reverse. You rotate the stage around a falling, rolling Sonic in order to navigate him through a maze and to the Emerald within the time limit. These are way trickier and way more frustrating than the platforming levels, but again, never unfair. The presentation of the game has been controversial from the start, but I really like it. The graphics are very smooth, bright, and colorful, and the characters' animations are very charming. All the stages are callbacks to ones from the classics, and the way they all blur as you speed past them is absolutely beautiful. The music evokes a classic Genesis sound, and while not as immediately memorable as the 16-bit symphonies of past, the game's soundtrack is very upbeat and incredibly enjoyable. The biggest flaw of the game is its length. For $15, you only get 4 zones with 3 acts and a boss level each, as well as a boss rush. Because of the level select, you can play the levels as much as you want, and from zone to zone, but they are very varied, but it's still a short game. Just speeding through takes less than 2 hours, and collecting all the emeralds doesn't add much to that. Whether you feel the content justifies the price is entirely dependent on how much you could find yourself replaying the levels, and how big of a Sonic fan you are. Sonic 4 is not toppling the throne that 2 and 3 and Knuck sit on. Not yet, at least. The first episode shows huge potential for the future of the game, and I, for one, am very excited. This is a game for the Sonic fan, but it wouldn't be a mistake for any lover of platformers or just games in general to pick it up. Overall, it's a huge step in the right direction for a series that has lost its step. Sonic 4 gets an 8.5 out of 10, and my best wishes for the future.